carnivore soldier coming at you from Austin, Texas again. So you made it past your first 30 days of carnivore, and now you're going in through day 31 through 60. These may be the most crucial days of your transformation to a carnivore diet. So far, you've had some successes, some failures, you've gotten past some cravings, you started developing new habits and new daily actions. The daily actions have probably not become habits yet, but they're on the way. So most experts will tell you that from day 21 to 60, that's when daily actions will turn into habits. So you're putting away the old daily actions and bringing on the new ones. So the new daily actions will be becoming your habits that will define your character going forward. So this is why it's so important to focus on these. Focus on daily activities. Focus on your victories, not your failures. When you do stumble, you get back up, and that's one of the habits, right? Resilience is one of the habits. That's getting up after you fall. Mike Tyson had a great quote, everyone's got a plan till you get punched in the mouth. We've all seen athletes who go in with a plan to, whether it's a football game, a halftime adjustment, or it's a fighter who does a round and it doesn't work the way he wants, and then make an adjustment on the fly. And when they make that adjustment, that halftime adjustment or that round adjustment, they come out winning when they readjust, right? So this is when we need to analyze our habits, see what's working, see what's not, and be realistic about ourselves and our limitations and our capabilities, and start developing those actions to create these habits that are going forward. So this is part of the process of becoming a resilient warrior, right? You're in the fight. You're fighting against your body. You're fighting against culture. You're fighting against, all these things in social media, all these things that are telling you this is not the way to go. Doctors, but your body's telling you it's the right thing to do. So you have to retrain your mind, which is really hard, when you're talking about fat is good for you, right? And this is something that we've all had been ingrained in us, that fat was so bad for us, right? So this is the battlefield we're on, but we do have to take the fight to the enemy, and we do that through daily actions. And some of the daily actions I've talked about before, maybe journaling, or like for me, I put a calendar entry in each day, day 162 of carnivore, day 163 of carnivore. Every day I do the exact same thing when I wake up. I first go to my computer, I get a glass of water, I type in what day it is, and that kind of sets my mindset. Okay, this is a carnivore day. Then I might turn on a couple YouTubers. Maybe I'll find a new one to support them. I try to get this carnivore message to grow, but also feeding my mind with a positive message of what I'm going to do today. And then, that doesn't have to be the only YouTube you watch in there. You can do it at lunch or in the evening. You can go back to it, but I like to start my day with that. Okay, some of the things you might have noticed on this next 30 days when you're in it is you're probably going to not need to snack as much. And your cravings are going to start subsiding. If you have cut out all sweeteners, artificial and natural, you will definitely notice probably around week 5 or 6, you'll stop having nightly cravings for sweets, which is something that was killing me, especially on keto. I would always, every night around 6 p.m., I'd be needing something sweet. And I'd start roaming the kitchen looking for it. Sometimes I was so desperate, I would drive out to the gas station to buy a Quest bar just to get something sweet if I didn't have anything in the house. That's how bad my cravings were. And that's a food addiction, and it's not by accident. These guys design foods to make you crave, right? So I was definitely under their influence, and being an addict like I was, I needed something sweet, and I would do just about anything to get it. Once I cut out all sweeteners, and my big go-to for artificial sweeteners, because I was cutting out sugar. I knew sugar was bad. I saw that sugar film, and I knew it was bad. So what I was doing was artificial sweeteners, thinking, oh, well, 0 calories, 0 carbs. How bad can it be? Well, it's pretty bad, because it would, I would have Diet Coke. I would have the flavored waters that had the artificial flavors and the sweetener in it. And then the Quest bars and that kind of stuff. And those would just keep driving my desire for sweets every night. Every night it was terrible. It was like torture. And it was just in my mind all the time. I can tell you, on the carnivore diet, when you cut that out, those desires completely go away, and you don't have any of these cravings. I mean, I used to actually even go out and get the keto ice cream. It's funny, you can put keto on anything now. There's no real requirement. I don't think there's a federal guideline that says this has to be meet this to be keto. So there's keto stuff that actually has sugar in it too. I would actually get the keto bar ice cream, and that's pretty terrible. Now, On the carnivore, on this next 30 days, I did make my own ice cream using Dr. Kiltz's recipe, which I recommend. It's pretty good. If you need to do a sweet snack, I am going to do a video on that, and I'll have that in my recipe videos pretty soon. But I like to make bite-sized ice cream bites, and it's simply heavy whipping cream and egg yolk and a little bit of vanilla. I know vanilla is not technically carnivore, but I put that in there, and I think that will satiate you. And after a while, because you have had no artificial sweets, it actually tastes sweet even though there's no sweeteners in it, just because your taste buds have adapted to what I would say is probably normal human taste buds, because we've been under the influence of this abnormal artificially sweet diet for so long, where everything has to be sweet. And there's science behind that. The reason everything in our diet is sweet is because it's man-made or man-engineered, and they're looking for a bliss point. And if you watch that sugar film, you'll see they talk about the bliss point. They explain it, where they add the exact amount of sugar that makes you crave that food. And these guys know exactly what they're doing. So you're going to start getting control of your cravings, and you're going to start getting control of your snacking. And this is very empowering. You're going to start feeling empowered because now you're in control. And it's different because your whole life you haven't been. If you're like me, some people they are moderators, and they can moderate, and they aren't like this. But I think for the majority, for myself, from the people I see in the grocery store or out in the public that are overweight, I can assume they're probably suffering the same kind of struggles I had. And this is the cure, is just basically abstinence. You go away from it, you don't do it. And I would say sweeteners are definitely the catalyst that drives that hunger and snacking desire all day long. So beyond breaking your addictions and your cravings for snacking all the time, you're also going to start developing some new minimalist habits. And I'm not a minimalist by nature, but I have embraced some of this, because what's happening is your life at this stage is becoming much more simplified. I used to be a planner. I was a plans guy in the military. I would be planning every meal. I would plan out a whole week of meals. I mean, when my son was coming, I'd plan the whole weekend. Like, okay, on Saturday we're having this for lunch, we're having this for dinner. On Sunday we're having this for breakfast. I'd have all these plans, and I'd have to go out and buy all these ingredients. I'd have a full shopping basket every time my son was coming over, and sometimes in between when I was just feeding myself, because I'd make plans for my own meals. But if I was ever entertaining or anything, I'd have this huge shopping basket, right? All these ingredients. And now when I go shopping, I'm in and out in 15 minutes. My list is like 5 or 6 things. And I'm always going through the 15 or less aisle. It's pretty amazing. And either I'm just going to the grocery store or going to Costco and just stocking up on some meat. It's so easy to shop. And beyond that, there's no meal prep really. Meal prep is just cooking food. I mean, especially with the air fryer and the frozen steaks, I have very little, if any, meal prep at all going on. And I can just do things on the fly. I can just say, hey, you know what? I'm hungry. I think I'm going to eat pork belly bites, or I'm going to eat a steak, or I'm going to eat burgers right now, And I will just fire up the grill or the smoker or do the air fryer and figure out what makes best. Or if I've made my meatball recipe and put those meatballs in the freezer, I can just pop some of those out and throw them in an air fryer. So I think just minimalist approach to eating starts to set in, and you start embracing it, right? And in eating, I've heard people talk about, well, there's no variety. Well, I know this sounds like total BS, but it's true. Your desire for variety goes away over this next 30 days. I think from 30 to 60, towards the end of the 60 days, you're really not embracing variety anymore, or even craving or missing it, because you start seeing eating as less of an entertainment value thing and more of a biological function, like going to the bathroom, right? So when you go to the bathroom, you're not like looking forward to, I can't wait to go to the bathroom, I'm going to go, do that. You just go do it and get out of there as fast as you can, because it's a break in your activities, and you're looking forward to doing something more interesting than going to the bathroom. Same with eating. Now, eating is very pleasurable, and it still tastes great, but you're not planning for it. It's not an event. It's something you just do, and then you take a break from your activities as a biological function, and then you go on and continue your activities, right? And that is kind of the change that I've noticed. That the switch that went off in my mind was, okay, I no longer plan, meals as entertainment. I mean, really, when I was going on vacation, I would take my son to Disney World every year. I would plan every restaurant out, man. I mean, it was like that was all part of this. No longer. It's amazing, and I don't miss it at all. It's just something that they've marketed to us and that we've accepted, and I see still, like on Facebook, people taking pictures of their meals and sharing like these awesome I guess experiences at a restaurant. There's plenty more experiences. I get much more out of hiking, spending time talking to people meaningfully, walking my dog, traveling and seeing places, taking photographs. These are things that I embrace now that I used to not. I used to really focus on food. And I think my whole focus on food as entertainment has shifted. And I think that'll happen to you too. It'll probably be a gradual thing, but by day 60, you're going to start noticing that. You'll start noticing that disengagement of food as entertainment and start seeing food as biological function, and it just simplifies your life 100%. Some other things that changed, I would say that my sleep started getting much better on the next 30 days. I was sleeping really deep and sleeping well. I still do like to take a nap every now and then. I think it's pretty healthy for 20 minutes or so. Also, my allergies went away completely, and this was something totally unexpected. And I didn't even notice this in the beginning. It was crazy. What happened was I would get up every morning with a runny nose, blowing my nose, and take an allergy pill. The first thing I did was I walk into the kitchen, I'd open up my medicine cabinet and pull out an allergy pill and take one every morning. And after like week 4 or 5, I just forgot to take it, I guess, because I just walk to my office and then, get a water and walk to my office because I wasn't even blowing my nose. I didn't have a handkerchief with me or tissues or anything. And I just forgot. But after like week 5 or 6, I was like, wait a second, I haven't had an allergy pill in a whole week. This is crazy. And I could breathe through my nose. Now, that's a big deal because for the last 10 years, one side of my nose was always plugged up. And my doctor had me sitting in a steamy shower every morning doing this breathing exercise where I close one nostril and breathe in and out, and in and out was steamy, and breathe in and out on the other side. And one side was always better than the other. And they would have me do that every day, saying that's the way you fix it. Well, they're wrong. Eating meat is how you fixed it, because now I don't have to do any exercises. I can breathe perfectly through both my nostrils. My breathing issues are gone. My allergies are gone. My sinus headaches basically gone. I mean, all this stuff just corrected itself when I was eating the appropriate human diet. And the other thing I noticed, I think, would be my aches and pains really started subsiding. My ankle started feeling so much better. My thumbs, arthritis, my thumbs went away. My back, a lot of things started feeling a lot better. I felt more fluid. When I woke up, I didn't have the creaky knees. And I did start exercising. So on day 30 through 60, I bought an X3 system, which is a band exercise system with a bar and rubber bands and a platform. And, basically started working out hard, lifting really heavy because I felt great. This energy, I wanted to put this energy to something. So that's the other thing. You're going to pick up a lot of energy, put it to use, get some exercise in. So I started getting my exercise in. The thing I noticed is I would work out till failure and not have any muscle soreness the next day. After anyone that's worked out in the gym, I've worked out my whole life, knows that if you've taken a break in exercising, you start up again, you're going to get what's called DOMS, or delayed onset of muscular soreness, which comes from lactic acid, right? So I lifted heavy as I could, doing squats, doing deadlifts, bench, and going to failure. And I thought, okay, tomorrow I'm going to pay for this. Next day I woke up, not a thing. I didn't feel any soreness. I felt great. Like I did feel like I had worked out. Like there's a little bit of slight fatigue, but there was no soreness. I think the body just, when it's not fighting inflammation daily and hourly from your diet, it can actually fight things in your body. It can actually heal your body faster. Like, that's what's happening when you're lifting weights. You're tearing down muscles and they're healing back up. So I think it's very anabolic, just like steroids heal you faster. I think this is a faster way to heal. And, I did notice a lot of aches and pains and different things were, improving. And I think that's my body healing itself. And I'm hoping, well, this is 160 some odd days now. I mean, it's continued that trajectory where I'm getting better and better every day. And, hopefully I will be fully healed one day and be able to run distance again or do what I want. I mean, my knees don't hurt like they used to. My back doesn't hurt quite as much like it used to. So definitely improvements in every aspect of my life regarding pain, because I had a lot of pain daily, and anyone that's had chronic pain can tell you that it changes your personality, it changes your outlook. It adds stress to your life. It does a lot of bad things. So okay, so back to resilience. So these habits that we're building, right? We've done these actions, we've built these habits over the next 60 days. We're still going to stumble and fall sometimes. It's okay. You're going to be, you're going to be out wherever and you're going to make a mistake. You just get back on that horse and ride. And that's part of the habits too. One of the habits is getting back up after you stumble. So if you stumble, look at it and say, hey, you know what? This is an opportunity for me to build resilience. Okay. It's not a failure as long as I don't stay down. It's a failure if I stay there and quit. If I get up and get back on that horse immediately, then I'm starting to develop that habit, right? And that habit starts becoming a habit of resilience, which becomes your character of resilience, right? So this is where you get the opportunity to hone your skills. So developing resilience, a couple things you need to know about becoming resilient. One is resilience takes a good critical eye. You need to look at yourself and know your weaknesses. And identify them. It's kind of like mapping out the minefield, right? For me, it was binge eating or having sweets around, or being around people that were eating other foods that I wanted, that I thought I wanted. And once you find out what your weaknesses are, you can work around them with plans. And that's one of the things I developed from this. So starting with resilience is identifying your own weaknesses, making sure you're taking enough downtime and quality downtime for yourself, which includes getting enough sleep. Like I said, I like to take a nap in the afternoon. I like to get as much sleep as I can and try to get good quality sleep. But when I get up, I pop up. Also, taking downtime away from screens, from technology, off social media, off TV, just to go for a walk or to sit and think, maybe journal and reflect on things. And this is part of resilience too, is actually taking quality downtime for yourself. Another thing is actually generating a network of people. Resilience works best with networks of people, with teams. So this is where you do plug into social media or your neighbors or your group, and you find other carnivores to connect with that you can share the message with and you can share your journey with, or just family members that care, that support you. You just need a support group. That's part of resilience. Can you do it alone? Yes, it's probably just not optimal. Another thing you would do is look for opportunities to be resilient. And what I mean by that is, don't become a hermit where you don't leave your house because you don't want to be tempted, right? You need to go out and go to social events, go to your mixer at business, go to your birthday party, go to your Super Bowl party, but look at them as, okay, I know I'm going to this thing. This is going to be a test for me. I'm going to get through it, and here's my plan. I'm going to eat some burgers before I go, right? Or whatever it's going to be. I'm going to bring my own drinks, and I'm going to hang out at the party and drink my own drinks and not get drunk or whatever, right? So these are things that you can build resilience on, and each one of these is a little victory. Becoming your resilient actions become resilient habits, and that becomes your character, where you're a resilient carnivore. You're a resilient person. And the beauty of that is these actions that you're doing in your diet can carry over into every other aspect of your life. Every other aspect. Resilience can be used anywhere, in your career, in your family life, just in your daily activities of how you react to the world. So this is it's really an awesome opportunity to do this. This is something I learned in the military and I've applied throughout my life, and it's made a huge difference. So, and day 30 through 60, this is where you actually embrace your potential and what you could be, right? And not what you were. So definitely an awesome time. Guys, I really appreciate you watching. And I just have one message for you. Stay strong and overcome. Carnivore Soldier, out.